your actual finished artwork for your 3 packages. You can now, if you have time, apply those graphics to this Photoshop mock-up. Okay, if you run out of time for the mock-up, that's completely fine. Just submit the actual artwork for the Illustrator artwork. Okay, if you do have time, then this is what I want you to do next. Okay, we're actually going to create a 3D mock-up in Photoshop. If we were on campus, we would have printed out our artwork and we would have physically mocked it up, okay, like you did with your prototypes. So we're going to do it this way. So what I need you to do is open up your PDF that you created, okay? You can just drag that into Photoshop doc, okay? And we're going to go okay. So here it is. So you'll see on the Photoshop mockup, there's already layers in the layers window. Okay, there's the top, the front and the side. So that's all we need to copy out of our PDF to apply to this box. So let's start with the top. I'll just go in a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, remember you can always drag your window around by holding the space bar, and you'll get the little hand appears. Okay, and then you can just drag it wherever you want. Okay, so I'm going to use my marquee and I'll just drag across within that pink line, okay, because I don't really want the pink line on my Photoshop mockup. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go copy, Command C, back to my mockup, Command V. Now I'm going to click on the top layer because I want to paste it in that layer. I'm going to go paste, okay. You can see that I've actually got a little bit of pink, so what I'm going to do is just put another marquee on the outside and just delete that. Okay, just clean it up a little bit. So we need to now make this rectangle fit onto our box. So go Command T, okay, transform. You'll also find transform under the edit window here, okay. You'll see that you've got these little handles, okay. If you hold down the Command key, you'll see you get that little white arrow. You can now just drag one of those points down to where it should appear on the box. Okay, if you go in a bit tighter, a bit closer, you'll be able to sort of see what you're doing. Okay, again, I'm going to hold down Command key. I'm going to drag this one across to here. Okay, so you can see that spot's already sort of holding in place. I'll go to the next one. I'll even go down a little bit so you can see. Hold down the Command key, click on that point and dragging it, okay, and then to the final point. Okay, so this is a really sort of clever way of doing a mock-up. In my work, where I work as a graphic designer, I'm often having to do this sort of thing, okay, just to give the client an idea of what the design might look like. Okay, and it also saves, you know, having to go and mock them up and get them photographed properly. Okay, that's pretty good, just readjusting those. Okay, and if you just hit return, it gets rid of those points. Okay, so there's our first bit. So back to our PDF, and we want to get this front panel here. We're going to go for this panel. So let's go, it'll be this panel here. Okay, so again, I'm going to try and select within the pink line. Okay, and Command C, back to my mock-up, Command V for paste. Okay, you guys are probably experts now at knowing all your commands. So, same thing, okay, Command T for transform, or under edit, transform. Choose whichever one you want to move first. I'm going to go this bottom one first, so I'm going to hold my Command key, drag that down there. If it's a bit rough at the moment, it doesn't matter, we can go back and fine tune it, okay. Again, holding Command, I'm going to go to this one. Okay, we'll go back and fine tune it in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to go a bit closer. because you'll see here that things aren't quite joining up because my panels aren't quite joining up. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So the closer you can go into it, really the better it's going to be. Okay, let's go over here. It's pretty good. Okay, pretty happy with that. So hit return. Okay, and back to my PDF. And what do we want now? We want this side here. Okay, so now you've just got to find out, I think this side is actually, think about the way that the box is folding up. I think it's this one here. Okay, it's this one here. Imagine that box folding up. So let's go in here, same thing. We're going to select it. Copy, back to our mock-up, paste. Now look, I've copied that bit as well, so I'll just delete that bit. Okay, again, Command T. Okay, now this one, it's not really much trickier. It's the same process, even though it's going, vertically. It doesn't matter. So it's the same process of Command key, click on one of those points. Your first one, okay, this one, and again I'm just doing this roughly to get it in position, and then we'll go back and fix it. This one is coming down roughly about there. It's not wanting to preview it too well for me, I think, because it's such an extreme change of shape for it. So, so now we'll just go in and fine tune. Okay, if you choose to do the square box, it's exactly the same process. Okay, just a different shape. Okay, so there you have it. Whoop. Okay, now you know what I didn't do is I didn't actually, when I copied those ones directly onto, when I pasted them, I didn't actually have the front and the sides selected here. So what's happening is they've automatically pasted at the top, but you'll see here there's a highlights layer here. We actually want to make sure that they go underneath that highlight. So let's put them down here where they should be. Okay, and you'll see, can you sort of see how there's sort of highlights built into this? What else is there built into it? Okay, some contrast there. Okay, so pretty much there's your box. Okay, this background color here, you can change that. Okay, if you need to, go in and change it. You might find that you want to go, okay, you know what I'm going to do, which is this one. That's the side. I'm actually going to merge those two layers together, just so we've got less. We'll call that one side. That was a mistake of mine to start with, so sorry about that. I'll merge these two together. Call that the front. Okay. So you can play around with. Is that going to turn on? Play around. There've already some sort of highlights and things that are built in. You might think, oh, okay, I want that front to be a little bit more in shadow. Maybe you could go Command L. You could play around with the layers a little bit. You might want to darken it a little bit just so it sort of stands out, so you're sort of really seeing that edge a bit. Pretty much just play around with it, and there you have your 3D pack mock-up. Okay, so again, if you're doing the square, it's exactly the same process. All right, good one, guys. Once you've finished that, because there's all these layers, okay, we don't want to get have Photoshop files submitted, what I'd like you to do is just to save it as a JPEG, okay? So I'm going to go save as, and the JPEG is going to flatten all those layers, so it'll be a much smaller file size, okay, that you can then upload into Brightspace. Okay, this is going to take a bit of time, sorry. So my computer's on go slow. In a minute. Okay, so we can just go save it as that first, and then I think it will allow you to save as again as a JPEG. Even if you just want to do a screenshot of it and submit that, okay, it's really just a matter for me to, here you go, save it as a JPEG. Okay, and there you have it. Okay, good one. Thanks guys, look forward to seeing them.